called BioPro has those available. And you could actually put these devices on your cell phone, on your big screen televisions and whatnot, and that'll help to counteract some of the EMFs that we are absorbing within our beings and help to rebalance our energetic levels.
So where should the revamping of the way we live start? With the kids or with the adults?
I should start with the adults as well. Well, I would say, yeah, the adults. We're supposed to be setting an example for these kids, so absolutely, and we have to reinforce this with our children. So, yeah, a lot of them are on their Game Boys all the time. They're not even communicating with anybody anymore. They're constantly texting other people while they're supposed to be in a conversation with you. So this is affecting not just our energetic levels, but also our relationships with one another. So it's affecting us on all levels, really.
So how can we turn everything around? I'm asking you as a holistic healer and a wellness expert. How do we start turning things around in our own lives to become more proactive when it comes to our own health and wellness?
I think one thing we can do in regards to all of the radiation and the new technology is set aside only so much time where we're on the computer outside of work. I mean, if you're working regularly with computers, obviously that's hard to do, but you could also set aside time at home where you only allow your children on these gadgets for so long. Otherwise, you're sitting at the table having dinner together as a family, spending time together as a family outside of using these gadgets or watching TV or whatnot. But another thing you could do is reach out and get Reiki or Reconnective healing or different modalities that will help to rebalance your energetic levels and your body is on all levels and bring you back into a homeostasis. And that'll counteract the effects of all the radiation from these gadgets.
How does Reiki work?
Reiki works with all of the chakras within your body, which are like energetic channels or vortices in your body. So it opens them up and balances them, and they affect all of your organs and your glands and whatnot. So it helps to, like sometimes our our chakras will close or lose their balance just from emotional stress or mental stress or chemical stress. So Reiki will help to open them and rebalance them.
So how do you open these? You know, like if something is shut physiologically, how do you open it?
Yes, it's just the magnetic forces that are applied from the practitioner through the practitioner. It's like an energy exchange type of thing through the practitioner to the client.
Now, a lot of people, when it comes to holistic wellness, talk about how important meditation is. Do you agree with that?
I believe in some acute cases, medication may be
meditation,
handy,
not medication, meditation.
Meditation, sorry. Meditation is so powerful. Meditation is, you can change your biochemistry with meditation.
And once again, as somebody who may be listening for the first time anywhere, not knowing what we're talking about, how does meditation work?
Well, basically with meditation, you're reconnecting within, which we don't get to do very often from day to day. You're creating a higher awareness of your relationship with your body, with your spirit, and you can sometimes reach higher levels of awareness in regards to your health or different issues in your life, but it's just to be still and to be quiet and to reconnect to your source of creation, basically. And when you get into this alpha state, healing can occur because it's so peaceful and it helps to bring about homeostasis on all levels of your being. So healing takes place on all levels when you can just be still and quiet and focus on the healing.
You know, when people think of meditation, they think of a yogi in the lotus position somewhere. When and where should people meditate?
Well, they could do it where they won't be disturbed, where it's peaceful, preferably somewhere where you feel that it's a sacred place for you. But some people have to do it at work. I have clients that will do it at work over their lunch hour. They'll just take out 10 minutes during their lunch hour just to be still and reconnect with their mind, body, and spirit. But preferably, if you could do it in the morning before you even go to work, that would be great, and in the evening. So 10 minutes in the morning and 10 minutes at night would be really wonderful to start. Some people work their way up to an hour in the morning and an hour at night, but not everyone has time for that. That even doing a guided meditation every day, downloading something off the internet that helps you to cope with stress and health and deal with health and well-being to promote that. There's so many options online now.
Are there possibly too many options?
Yeah, there can be. I mean, it depends. There's so many different people out there that are doing meditation, so it depends who you resonate with energetically and whose voice you resonate with. But one of my favorites is Dr. Brian Weiss. You can download his anti-stress meditations at soundstrue.com or hayhouse.com, and he's wonderful. I love him, and I know a lot of my clients resonate with him as well. So, but there is a huge variety, absolutely. But
I'm going to ask you a very direct question, and I'd like a very honest answer.
Okay.
Has there ever been a situation where someone that you've known or you've heard of has been involved with holistic medicine and they just find it doesn't work for them and they've returned back to the Western medical community for help?
Well, most people have received at least some benefit. I don't really know anyone who's been discouraged where they didn't keep up with their holistic care.
Now, is holistic care expensive, and do government or independent insurance companies cover it?
Oh, no, most companies don't cover, unfortunately. They'll cover naturopathic doctors and whatnot, but hypnosis isn't covered, or any of the other modalities that I do. So it can be a little costly for some people, especially hypnosis. For some, because it's 4 different sessions, it's more costly. Psych-K is a one-time session, and your changes, your new perceptions and beliefs are instilled in one session. So a lot of people go for that one because it's really affordable, and it really affects people on all levels.
Is there a danger of somebody taking something like Psych-K when they really need hypnosis? Are they going to be suffering because they couldn't afford the better treatment?
Oh, no, absolutely not. Psych-K and hypnosis both deal with the subconscious mind. The reason the Psych-K is so quick is because you're joining all aspects of the mind, so the conscious mind, the subconscious mind, and the superconscious mind. And you're putting the client in a whole brain state. Most of us are right brain or left brain dominant, but with this process, you're putting them in a whole brain state with certain techniques, and you're locking in the new beliefs with the physical body using kinesiology. So it's very, very powerful, and people actually prefer that one in a lot of ways because it's you notice the results almost instantly, and it's long lasting. The change is lasting.
What kind of ailments would a person use Psych-K for?
You could use it for anything, whether you've been diagnosed with cancer or given a poor prognosis. Say if you've been told you have 2 months to live, if you change that belief, you can change that self-fulfilling prophecy to one where you can increase your odds of survival and not become a slave to those words of...
But if a doctor was to tell me, based on the tests that he's run and the MRI or the CAT scan that he has taken, that I have cancer and I have 6 months to live, how is Psych-K going to change that?
Well, your subconscious mind is actually your physical body. It controls your blood pressure, your heart rate, your breathing patterns, and your biochemistry, and your DNA transcription. So that's why we are not slaves to our genetics. We're not slaves to the words given to us by anybody, because if you change your beliefs and perceptions, you change your biochemistry.
So are you telling me that Psych-K will actually cure cancer?
Well, I'm not saying there's a guarantee that it would, but there have been many studies to show that changes take place.
Have you ever had a patient who's come to you with cancer and Psych-K has cured them?
Well, we don't do the studies here to prove that.
Well, how do you know it works or it doesn't work?
Well, you see the changes in people.
All right, let me ask you in a different way.
Okay.
Somebody comes to you and they say, I was just told by my doctor I've got cancer, I've got 6 months to live, I want to take Psych-K.
I encourage it, absolutely. I don't discourage them from seeing their doctor.
All right, now, after the Psych-K, do they go back to their doctor and say, have another examination, and the doctor tells them they're cured?
Well, there have been cases where the tumors have been gone, yes, or they've been shrinking.
All right. Now, these are cases you yourself worked on.
Yes.
Okay.
With Reconnective Healing too, different things that we've done here. We've had some cases.
So if it actually works, why isn't this practice done in hospitals instead of giving people 6 months to live? Why aren't they given the opportunity to undergo this therapy or this treatment to save lives?
Well, I believe it's lack of awareness and fear all combined. Western medicine is taught a certain way to help people, and I know that their hearts are truly into helping others, and they're following their paradigm. But it's simply lack of awareness of what else is out there. I don't believe, like in some instances, some people aren't open to the holistic paradigm, but there are doctors who are curious about it. But because their license has so many restrictions, they don't delve into these therapies and look into it as much. However, in Europe, Reconnective Healing is offered in hospitals there, and we actually had medical doctors in our courses when we were taking that course, and they were practicing in Europe.
Well, you take, for example, there's the Cancer Treatment Centers of America that advertise widely on TV, where they incorporate both the traditional medicine as well as New Age and spiritual healing practices.
Yes, there are some for sure.
And yet you don't see that here in Canada.
No, it's unfortunate. And that's why we're creating this Inner Miracles program, because we want people to have access to be fully empowered themselves. We don't want people to rely on us for care. We want to empower them because we all have that power within us. Incurable means curable from within, really. There's no guarantees of curing something, but there will be healing that takes place at some level for people when they do look into different ways of healing.
Now, as a healer yourself, what has been the most dramatic healing that you have ever seen based on your treatment?
Well, cancer, definitely. I had a woman who was in her mid-30s who was diagnosed with ovarian cancer, and this was last year. She was given 2 months to live, and one thing I do recommend is try not to get a prognosis, because once you have that in your mind, it can be tough for you to overcome that if you really believe it. But this woman was very open, and she came into to have Psych K and Reconnective Healing, and she is now cancer-free. She made changes in her diet, which we help people with that, to help them to actually crave healthy foods and not junk food, and to stick to pH-balanced foods, and to think a certain way, to move, to treat their bodies as temples and not sewers.
Nancy, you and I have got to take a break. Please stand by. Nancy Penttila is our special guest this hour. Exonation 1-800-984-6472. That's 1-800-984-6472. And we'll be back on the other side of this commercial break as the X Zone continues from Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, with yours truly, Rob McConnell. Don't go away. With each new extreme weather event or terrorist act, it becomes increasingly obvious that we live in uncertain and challenging times. We all buy car insurance. Why not collapse and catastrophe insurance? Matthew Stein, an MIT-trained engineer and green builder, has written 2 outstanding books to help people prepare, plan for, and deal with everything from minor situations lasting a few days to full-on collapse. Matt's first book, When Technology Fails, is a manual for self-reliance, sustainable living, and surviving the long emergency. This massive book covers the gamut from first aid and emergency preparedness to alternative healing, renewable energy, primitive living skills, and 18th century technologies that could be critical to your comfort and survival in a long-lasting crisis. Matt's second book, When Disaster Strikes, is a comprehensive emergency preparedness handbook and survival guide. When Disaster Strikes is an essential item for every family's go bag. Both books are available at all usual sources. There's a wealth of totally free information posted at whentechfails.com, and author-signed copies may be purchased at mattstein.com. That's www.whentechfails.com and www.mattstein.com.